Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I am John Berry, Sustainable Transport Team Leader. I have lived in Dundee all my life, and I've been working at Dundee City Council since 2009. I'm really passionate about public transport. I'm really passionate about active travel. I'm really passionate about tackling some of the issues we have in the city, and that's what I'm going to talk about. I think, hopefully this mill project is going to give us an opportunity to explore innovative ways of tackling some of the issues we face as a city. So, what I've stuck up on here is our version of the sort of London Underground style map. This is our bus network in Dundee, and it is a very extensive bus network. And I would have to say Dundee has a fantastic bus service, fantastic commercial bus service, high frequency routes. I have been, unbelievably, I've been on 4 buses already today, and I'm still going to get a 5th bus home today. We've got high frequency routes, we've got fairly modern buses, we've got real-time information at every bus stop. You can get on your phone, we have displays. So, we have got a high-quality bus service, and that's good because this is a city that is very heavily dependent on good bus services. One of my favourite stats that I love to tell my colleagues when they're going on about roads all the time is 44.8% of households in Dundee don't have access to a car. So nearly half the households in Dundee do not have a car. We've got one of the lowest levels of car ownership in Scotland, I think only second to Glasgow. But unlike Glasgow, we don't have a tram network or a train network. We're very much reliant on a good bus service. And we as a council want to make sure that we have good connected cities. And like I say, I feel we've got that, but we've also got a problem. The commercial bus network is shrinking. It's consolidating around key routes. So if I go back to this slide, this is the entire network, but not all those routes are at the same frequency. You can have a bus running every 5 minutes on some routes, but there are other parts of the city where you've got much less numbers of buses. And in fact, there are some pockets of the city where you've got practically nothing. And the people who are getting left behind are the people like the lady in this image. People who aren't fleet of foot, who can't walk 5-10 minutes to their bus stop, can't manage to the bus stop when they've got shopping bags, and there's a lot of unhappy people in Dundee, a lot of unhappy older people in Dundee who feel let down by the public transport network that we have, not just in Dundee, but it's across Scotland, it's across the UK. This is something I think is a very scalable problem, and it will resonate with many cities and urban areas across the UK. So I want our innovation to sort of tackle this idea of socialisation, because that's what's happening. We've got too many people who are just basically not getting out of the house. They're just not doing the things that you would expect people in their later years to be able to do. There's become a reliance on on taxis in this image, and it's not just older people. I've obviously got an image of a younger person, a disabled younger person as well. So I'm wanting our innovation solution to tackle social isolation and come up with something that's going to help people maintain their independent lifestyles. Here we go. We know for a fact that if people are able to continue living in their own homes, that's going to take a huge burden off the NHS and off social care and all that kind of stuff. So we want people to be living independent lifestyles as much as they can. We want people to be able to get down to Tesco or Asda or wherever that is and do their shopping. And we want people to do the functional things in life, go and get their hair done, go to the GP service, do that kind of stuff. But we also want people to enjoy life a little bit more. We don't always think of older people just having to do the very mundane activities. We do want people to think about enjoying their later years. And I think it would be nice to think if we could have a solution or an innovation that allowed people not just to carry out functional journeys, which when they think about their hierarchy of needs, they think, I've got to get to the doctors, I've got to get to the shop, I've got to get to the podiatrist, whatever. They don't really think about enjoying themselves anymore. They are pretty much, concentrating on the must-haves. And I would like to have a city to have some of the sort of nice-to-have activities. So I'm hoping our solution, our innovation, will begin to tackle this particular issue of socialisation. Now, as a council, in terms of what we have in assets, is I think we have minibuses, underused minibuses. We've got a significant fleet of minibuses that are either allocated to schools, and they do school runs in the morning at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock. They do a school run in the afternoon at 3 o'clock. But they're underutilised in the middle part of the day. They're underutilised at weekends. evenings, summer holidays, Easter holidays, October holidays. There's a lot of capacity in our system in Dundee, and I would like us to come up with a solution that somehow connects our vehicles and our drivers, because we have plenty of drivers also sitting around looking for activities to do, and we sometimes find it quite hard to usefully engage them during downtimes. You know, what are they doing during the summer holidays? You know, they spend a lot of time polishing the bonnet and that kind of stuff. So we want to use that asset and connect those assets with the people you see in this picture, the older people that you see in this picture. And I'd like to think that we will come up with some kind of innovation over the next 2 or 3 years as part of the Mill project that really tackles this issue of getting older people connected back with their local communities. I know it's a problem in terms of technology, because one of the things I hear again and again and again is older people don't use mobile phones, older people don't use the internet, all that kind of stuff. And that is patently true, and I would imagine that, you know, in terms of percentage terms, you know, 80% over the age of 75 will never go anywhere near a smartphone. But, you know, I'd like to think we can still harness some of the technology to improve their lot and to improve that idea of connectivity around the city for the people who live here. So when Simon was doing his presentation, he was reminding me, we talked about, you know, other elements of mobility as a service. What I've obviously concentrated on is the area that I think that we have the greatest need, and that is, you know, the older people and disabled people. And I think it's a hugely scalable project, because I think, as I said before, there are cities and communities all over the country, all over the world, who are grappling with this issue as public transport networks contract and decrease. You've got this increasing aged population who are just not doing the activities that you would expect and that you hopefully would expect for your parents, or that you can look forward to in later life. So that's what I'm hoping we'll get out of the Mill over the next 2 or 3 years. I hope I've said enough. I don't know if we're doing Q&As now or at the end, but good stuff, okay? And I've done it with 3 minutes to spare. That's good stuff.